Today I fucked up when the needle disappeared. My boyfriend and I have been having some issues. Enter dead bedrooms sub here. After a trip to his doctor, he was put on testosterone. I heard about this before and asked him if he could get the cream, because I knew this would be something he could easily take care of himself. He was told it was not as effective and was put on the kind that has to be injected with a rather large needle. He came home with a stash of the stuff. I work in the car business and have never given a shot in my life and even get lightheaded when getting them. Furthermore, I'm the type of girl that can mess up a one-car parade, so to say I was hesitant and nervous to take this on is an understatement. He woke me up early this morning for his shot, and feeling drowsy and nervous I give the shot, needle goes in and I hear a little suction noise and no needle comes out. Holy F to the power of CK. In shock, I tell him his body, right butt area, sucked the needle into it. He went white as a sheet. We are both freaking as I'm frantically throwing clothes on, telling him he's going to have to stand upright through the sunroof on the way to the ER, since there is a 2-inch needle in his ass that would surely prevent any bending. My mind was racing with worrying that the needle would get sucked into his heart after the crying and screaming subsides. Standing over the sink, poised to yak, he's looking down at the packs of needles and reads on one of the packets that the needle is retractable, and the noise was the needle going into the handle. Persevering face, scared face, mind blown. Too long didn't read, convinced I broke a needle off in my boyfriend's butt. I can just imagine seeing someone standing through the sunroof on their way to the ER, absolutely frightened. Side note, glad he's okay. I love the idea of a butt so powerful it could suck a needle off a rig, and that you had so much faith in your BF's back porch. It's more of a confidence in my ability to mess something up in a colossal way. While writing this today I fucked up. I realized my perception of the human body is that of a giant vacuum. Lol, I put 2 and 2 together. 1, you got into the injectable prescription. I was on an injectable blood thinner for a short time after a surgery, and I remember being fascinated by those little needles and how it was a pretty ingenious invention for at-home injectable meds. Good on him though for having the presence of mind to reread the instructions. It saved you a useless trip. I'm not sure I would have been that level-headed. Reminds me how my mom made me scared of sewing for life just so I wouldn't forget needles around the house. Told me if you step on them they can go through your foot, into a vein and right into your heart, killing you. Now I know it's not true, but still. My mom's rule was if you dropped a needle or pin, you weren't allowed to leave that spot until you found it. Preferably without moving your feet, if at all possible. There was no such thing as it's lost, because it didn't just grow wings and fly away. If you dropped it and haven't found it, then it's still there. This is a lesson my own kid is having trouble learning. Your green shirt isn't lost, you're just tired of looking for it. LOL. Lots of good stuff here. Pretty ironic that you poked him in his ass in hopes of a little reciprocation. And everyone is okay, that would be super scary. Hope it goes well. Great point, thank you. Today I fucked up by being healthy. I spent about 5 years diagnosed as a type 2. Nothing worked to bring my blood glucose down. I went to a zero-carb diet for a while and, I'll admit, it kept me from hitting the 300+ zone, but staying above 250 for that amount of time left me a husk of a man. I was tired even though I slept 12 or more hours a day. I stopped playing video games because I simply didn't have the energy or focus to enjoy them, and sex was a chore. About 2 weeks ago, my GP finally said that she would get me an appointment with an endocrinologist. He diagnosed me as type 1 on the spot, did some blood work to prove it, and called my GP an absolutely dangerous idiot for waiting this long. Now, I haven't had a single reading above 200. I'm eating carbs again. I had my first bowl of cereal in 5 years last night and my meter read 116 at the end of 2 hours after it. So, last night, I felt fantastic. I did my old high school weightlifting routine. I went for a 20-minute jog, and I had the best sex ever with my wife. Great, right? I wake up this morning and notice something. It hurts to breathe. Every muscle and bone in my body hates me. Learn from my mistake. Don't overdo it just because you feel like Superman. You're very much still human. Waking up to coffee with cream and my wife making oatmeal made it better. Too long didn't read. I ran way too hard last night. Body is in so much pain. I couldn't be happier. Good for you, man. But you're hitting the weights and running like you used to on the first day back is a huge mistake, lol. But at least you're doing it. Keep it up. I was way over my calorie count for yesterday, so I had to do something to burn off a few. Shouldn't have burned away 500 without working up to that activity level. Made a serious mistake. That said, it'll happen again. Maybe not as bad, but I'm arrogant and stupid when I feel as good as I do. This is the most wholesome fuck up ever. Congrats. Hopefully your new GP will actually know something about medicine. Oh yeah. There's another office right next to hers. I don't think she's a bad doc. She just doesn't know anything about diabetes. She mostly just handles people with blood pressure issues and colds. I have a family history of type 2, so I'm not surprised she jumped to that conclusion, but when my C-peptide test came back low, she should have at least questioned the original diagnosis. I wake up this morning and notice something. It hurts to breathe. Rona. How did you get to your age without going into DKA without insulin your whole life? Most people with type 1 diabetes get diagnosed early in childhood because you can't live without insulin. I'm one of the weird cases. My diabetes didn't kick in until I was 22. Beyond then, I still had enough insulin production to live. It's only now that my pancreas is completely shutting down. Today I fucked up by instituting a point system for my spouse to try to get housework done. Mandatory the FU happened yesterday, but I'm suffering the consequences today. Some background, my husband is a very active, go non-stop kinda person, so this whole staying home on the weekends thing is really tough for him. He's considered essential and is working long hours MF and is thankful for that, but gets pretty depressed being inside all day Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday I had this brilliant idea to make a list of activities he could do to keep busy that would earn him points and a list of rewards he could redeem the points for. The things to earn points consisted of a blend of fun things like invent a new dish using items we have in the pantry, walk the dog and find your new favorite TV show. These were combined with more practical things like do a batch of laundry or clean out your dresser. On the rewards part I put some small things like I'll watch a movie of your choosing or I'll cook any dish you'd like. I then quickly assigned arbitrary point values to all the activities and slightly higher arbitrary prices for all the rewards. The problem is there's only so much I could put on there that would be a reward for him that also allowed us to stay in the house, and I needed more items. Oh, last minute, and this is where I effed up, I decided that one of the rewards is that he could have me do anything on the activities list if he redeemed double the points value. I made this little game in less than 15 minutes when he was taking a shower and didn't really put much thought into how it might be exploited. He gets the list and scans over, then immediately gets to work on the fun stuff, then goes through it again. By the end of the day the dog has had 5 walks, and I've eaten 4 small gourmet meals, and everything easy or fun is checked off once or more. He's earned enough points to redeem everything on the rewards list and hasn't used anything. I'm thinking I'm pretty smart and that this was hugely successful. That brings us to today. I wake up and he immediately starts redeeming his points to have me do all the hard stuff. It's been 6 hours and I've already cleaned out his dresser, done all the laundry, and walked the dog in the rain twice. I've just now taken a break to write this. He still hasn't used all his points. Too long didn't read. I instituted a points system with rewards to keep my husband busy while also getting housework done. One of the rewards was to have me do anything on the list, and I ended up having to do all the hard stuff. 5 walks yesterday and 2 walks today. Are you sure this points system wasn't the dog's idea? You have a point. He is a pretty sneaky pup. Lol, good job keeping up with your end of the deal. Yeah, we've gotten more done this weekend than the past 3 months combined. That is amazing. He played the system. Welcome to making a video game 101. Learn from mobile games. 1. Reduce the points for every activity. 2. Repeatable activities like walking the dog gets reduced points after every completion. 3. Other activities get points 1 time a day. 4. Set high prices for the rewards. 5. You get points too. That way he'll be scared of retaliation. 6. Last but not least, you know how a genie will only grant 3 wishes and you can't ask for more? Do the same. Set some limits so he can't get you to do everything and still have some points. For more tips, just download any free mobile game and try to earn free stuff. Lol. Everyone shits on those games, and look at this thread. Immediately resorting to F2P tactics to get your spouse addicted to chores. The dog is having the time of his life.